Well, we are down to the Final Four in Charlotte, and tonight, two teams will find themselves in tomorrow night's championship game at the Spectrum Center in the Queen City.
You can feel it in your chest, in the building. Pulse racing, arena shaking.
Oh, yeah!
Champ Week.
This is Champ Week on ESPN, presented by Principal. You are watching the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by T. Rowe Price. And tonight, our first ACC Tournament Semifinal will pit the 2 and 3 seeds, the Virginia Cavaliers and the Miami Hurricanes, for the right to play in a conference championship game. And coming up at 9:30 tonight, the nation's #1 team, the Duke Blue Devils, will take on the #5 seed, the Clemson Tigers, who both barely survived in the quarterfinals by a single point. Now, Virginia and Miami had hard-fought wins, while Clemson got North Carolina knocked out of the tournament. Hurricanes stifling Louisville to get into the semifinals. Meanwhile, Duke had just avoided an upset by 1 point in the semifinals against the hottest team, FSU. Clemson also winning by 1, a late surge to get it done, and appeared tonight in the semis. Dave O'Brien alongside Corey Alexander, Molly McGrath joining us in just a moment. Great to see you, partner. When these two met earlier this season, and just the one time, it was actually one of the better games in the conference all season long.
It absolutely was. On the day that Virginia named the court, the Tony Bennett court, we had an epic showdown. Jakari White with the step-back 3 ball, which was huge. But Miami answered with their first team All-ACC performer, Malik Renaud. This was the play of the game. Chance Mallory, the freshman, stepping up, knocking down 3 free throws with 3.6 remaining. And then Testa Ritter with the steal to seal it for the Hoos at home.
Well, DeRitter, one of the top players in the conference. Here's another one from Miami. Malik Renaud averaging 19 points, 7 rebounds a game, named All-ACC first team. Also true of Testa Ritter, the 6'9" first-year man for the Virginia Cavaliers. So two of the very best in the conference ready to have at it tonight.
Led by two of the very best on the sideline. Both first-year coaches, Ryan Odom for Virginia, Jay Lucas at Miami. Jay Lucas leading to Miami to the largest turnaround in the country. Plus 18 wins this season. Ryan Odom doing a tremendous job in Charlottesville, leading Virginia to a #2 seed in this year's ACC tournament.
Yeah, his 28 wins, the second most ever by a first-year head coach in the ACC.
When you consider the elite status of both these coaches in their first year, what they've been able to do, Jay Lucas leading Miami to a school record 24 regular season wins. But both these teams now looking to try to advance to an ACC Tournament Championship, which would be the 2nd ever for Miami, the 4th ever for Virginia.
I'm just hoping for the same kind of game that they had in Charlottesville. 86-83. Molly McGrath right now with Jay Lucas.
Coach, a close loss to Virginia in February. What adjustments do you need to make for a different result tonight?
We got to do better just guarding the ball and controlling the ball, especially in their ball screens and their penetration. It led to a lot of threes that gave them a bunch of separation.
You just spoke with your team. What did you say to them ahead of this one?
It's going to be a 40-minute war. We got to fight. We got to fight for the glass. We got to fight for our identity of who we are.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
I think Coach Odom would say the same thing, Molly. It's going to be a 40-minute war, and we're looking forward to it.
It absolutely is. And you hear Jay Lucas talk about fighting for the glass. His team actually out-rebounded Virginia, which was the top team in the ACC in offensive rebounds this year, 12-4 in that first matchup. So I know Ryan Odom has talked to his team about making sure they get back to their identity on the glass.
Both legit. Miami with 25 wins. Virginia with 28 wins. Cavaliers trying to reach their 11th ACC title game. And we are set to go for the opening tip. Miami Hurricanes in the orange. And we are underway here from Charlotte in our first semifinal tonight. Cavaliers at 28-4. Who's hitting 12 of 25 threes against NC State in the quarterfinals. Sam Lewis giving it up into the corner. DeRitter launches, but off target on the first one.
But there it is. That's Virginia with the offensive rebound. Sam Lewis unable to handle that one. throws it out of bounds, but you can see the point of emphasis by the Cavaliers to attack the glass early and often.
When Miami's resurgence has been something to behold, the largest turnaround in the nation. They won 7 games last year. They make the coaching change, and they're 25 and counting coming into the semifinal. Just amazing. Shelton Henderson, a gifted freshman, gives it up for Donaldson, and he's off the back iron, no good, but a foul on the baseline.
Looks like they're going to get Grunlo on that possession. Grunlo got in foul trouble early in yesterday's game, was out of the game in the first 2 minutes. Didn't even play 10 minutes as the starter for Virginia.
They injured his wrist too, so that's been taped up. He was questionable about tonight. They do get it down and inside very quickly, and Henderson knocks it down. He originally committed to Duke, then decommitted when Jay Lucas took the Miami job. He's become a young star.
He absolutely has, and he also went to Jay Lucas's high school, so the relationship there, I was sure he was going to follow Jay Lucas.
Thomas lost the handle. Malik Thomas gives it away. Their second turnover. Both of these programs following similar storylines as they bounce back big time to become powers in the ACC again. Renew coming out 24 points. He's bottled up in the corner. Got it out to Donaldson. Shot clock at 4.
Bruno got a hand on that one, OB. That's got to be counted as a shot block. Of course, you got elite shot blocking for Virginia. Bruno didn't even have one yesterday.
Onienso had 8.
He made up for both of them.
Sure did. He really stole the show, the big guy. So Virginia with the ball. Miami up 2-zip. Cavaliers coming in number 10 in the country in the national poll, and Hall will misfire from way downtown.
Obi, we had an elite play on the underneath out of bounds earlier. Watch Trey Donaldson as he gets to the basketball, but the immediate vision as he recognizes Sam Lewis coming over to try to take him away, dropping it right back. I may have to give Jay Lucas some credit on that one. That's something that was scouted, and they executed to perfection.
Well, the Michigan transfer, and he has the ball right now, has made all the difference with Miami. Renew gets a lot of the attention he should as the transfer from Indiana. But Donaldson is such a heady player, a marvelous passer. They needed that guy.
I agree, OB. And when we had them on Saturday versus Louisville, and when you look at what Trey Donaldson does for this team, and again, Malik Renew absolutely deserved to be on the first team all ACC team. But I voted for Trey Donaldson. I thought that he may be a little more important to this team, and one of the reasons why Miami's had the resurgence they did this season.
You voted for him for the first team, so did I. No one bothered to check with us beforehand.
No, they didn't.
Dante Allen for Henderson, and here's Donaldson. He swings the pass to the freshman and wants to attack. Got it up there, but a miss.
It's a small thing, OB, but as Shelton Henderson's game develops, he will shoot that 3 because his teammate did all the work for him.
Thomas, what a difficult shot. Can't connect. Renew with the rebound. He puts it to the deck up against DeRitter. That should be fun to watch. Those two tonight, but that's going to be a travel. And a turnover.
Well, that's a reason why, as a point guard, we always used to yell, give it to a guard. Malik Renew actually has that ability to be able to drive it. Jay Lucas wondering why there wasn't a foul on that call in comparison to the travel.
Jay, after 3 years as a Duke assistant, got his first head coaching job. The age of 37, he's a rising star. Lewis will launch. And Virginia with a chilly start here in the first 3 minutes. Henderson beats everyone to the other end for the slam.
But give Renew the credit for that outlet pass, recognizing that his teammate had a couple of steps, delivered it perfectly for the 2 fast break points.
That's what Henderson did. First time they met 18 points in that game at Charlottesville, which is a dandy. DeRitter on the spin move and denied. A terrific block on the play by Uday. Shot clock at 13. Here's DeRitter. He'll fire. Got a good look, but he missed.
Give Miami credit early in this game. Jay Lucas talked to us about that he had to do a better job defensively guarding that 3-point line. Virginia was 50% as Dalvin Hall comes up with the steal.
Mallory on the move on the baseline, and he shoved and fouled. And Virginia almost 4 minutes in without a single point. They're 0 for 6. So Ryan Odom trying to find somebody who can deliver a basket. He's going to bring on Jakari White, the sharpshooter, the 6'3" grad who makes 44% from three-point land.
And that's a great option to go to when you need someone that can get a bucket. Jakari White is one of the very few people that can come in the game and be instant offense. Looking to get other ones over there, but Shelton Henderson does a nice job running him off the line.
White will reverse that one. Nicely done. So gets Virginia on the board. And a 4-2 lead for Miami. White 17 points against Miami in meeting number 1. He came off the bench. Here's Renew to the paint. Out for Allen. The swing for Henderson. Popped it up there and a miss. DeRitter wants to go strong right by Renew.
And Renew didn't really give much resistance on the OB. Doesn't want to get in foul trouble early in this game. Understands how important he is to his team. And allowed DeRitter to get the easy bucket.
Donaldson. Probably should have kept on going. Maybe one pass too many.
No, Onienso was right there waiting on it. After 8 block shots yesterday, they know the scouting report. Give it up.
Oh, inside. We'll kick it out. Here's Mallory. They'll drive. And Miami with an opportunity to retake the lead in a 4-4 tie. Both sides off to a choppy start 5 minutes in. Donaldson over the top. And tipped out of play. And it'll go the other way. A 4-4 game. 14:52 to go in the first half of our semifinal.
It's a skill that very few have. The outlet pass, like Wes Unseld, like Kevin Love. Malik Reneau delivering the strike.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. And if we could take a moment to congratulate and recognize 2 gentlemen who were just honored as recipients of the Skeeter Francis Award for distinguished service by the Atlantic Coast Sports Media Association. Freddie Kiger and John Madry, who together has served as stats magicians for a combined only about 100 years. These 2 guys, John to my left, I won't do a game without John Madry. Freddie is a renowned Civil War historian. John working all of our games, but he was North Carolina Solicitor General before doing this. In fact, he actually argued in front of the Supreme Court. We simply know these 2 guys as among the very best people we will ever meet. A great honor for these guys, and congratulations to them both.
Absolutely. You don't have the ACC without these gentlemen. I refer to them as the ACC Encyclopedia for those who remember what encyclopedias used to be. And also, I do claim Madry, even though he's a Tar Heel, he went to Virginia Law School.
Yes, he did. He's a smart dude. With those alma maters, Virginia, Onienso coming up a terrific game with the 8 blocks as mentioned. Really stole the show in the quarterfinals against NC State. Second time he's rejected 8 shots in a game this year.
And Grunlow also has an 8-block game. So between the 2 of them, 3 games where they've denied 8 opportunities at the rim. 2 of the best in the country.
As you mentioned, just a bit of a deterrent around the iron. Miami with the ball. The move going strong, and he's denied, but a foul on the play. Onienso, the 7-footer, right there to meet him. 14:05 to go in the first half. And that'll go against Chance Mallory as he picks up number 1. And that'll put Renew at the line where he makes 78%. He's been so consistent. He scored 20 points or more 17 times this season for the Miami Hurricanes, who otherwise are not a very good foul shooting team, only 68%. It has been an issue from time to time.
It really has been, especially when you get to close games. And we could definitely see a close game here after what we saw last night. 2 games with identical 80 to 79 scores, 1-point victories. We could definitely see a close one between the 2 and the 3 seed who played a very close game in their first matchup this season.
So tied at 6. And Virginia with the ball. They're in the ACC Tournament Semifinals for the 10th time in the last 13 years. Mallory gives up the dribble. The bounce for White. That's his range out there, right around the logo. Thomas finds the paint. And great defense there by Renew.
But you can see Virginia wants to drive Renew. Oh, they're going to get clearing out underneath, clearing a path. That would have been an easy 2 points.
Yes, Altuntas, the 6'10 freshman with his first.
Altuntas seeking out Onyenso. Altuntas played in all 18 regular season games for Miami, but he did not participate in their quarterfinal win yesterday.
Onyenso trying to return that, quickly back up and in.
But the great footwork, not only to come up with the offensive rebound, but to find a seam between 2 defenders to lay it back up for second chance points.
Henderson kicks it back out for Washington. He's very much the X factor for Miami. Gets that one to go through Washington. Really big against Louisville. He had 17 off the bench.
Big performance of True Washington. And one of the things we're going to see a lot of in this game, OB, we're going to see a lot of bench production. You talk about True Washington. Then you also got 3 guys on Virginia's roster who I thought could have been all getting votes for ACC 6th Man of the Year with Chance Mallory, Ja'Kari White, as well as Onyenso.
Moved around to Donaldson. Donaldson off the fake, stepping inside. You saw Onyenso going for the block and a whistle. 12:21 to go here in the first half, tied at 8.
Jay Lucas understands how big a game this is. He was on Duke's staff last year, OB, but he didn't participate in the ACC tournament, so he didn't get that ACC championship ring. He's looking to get one of his own here this weekend.
That's right. That's because he had agreed to the deal in Miami, and everyone thought better of him not being on the Duke sideline at that point. But look at that win improvement, the largest in D1, plus 18. Now, today with NIL money and better funding, you can rebuild a team much quicker than you used to be able to do it.
You can, but the difference is you've got to make sure all the pieces that you bring in mesh. They work well together, and that's what these 2 respective coaches have done tremendously throughout this season. Bringing in new pieces as Sam Lewis is able to get to the mid-range and get a bucket. Ryan Odom and Jay Lucas both brought in a lot of new pieces, but to build that chemistry, and to have them playing that the way they do, playing unselfishly and together, that's truly where they did such a marvelous job coaching this season.
Yes, Henderson on the spin inside and a rejection. The 7-footer's first one officially tonight. Donaldson downstairs. He went for another one. He harassed Henderson. He didn't make the shot. Long range, and that one will roll out for Dovrat. Virginia, with Donaldson going for the steal, has some numbers. Trying to take advantage of that. Lewis cannot do it. Nice rebound on the baseline by Hall. And play starting to pick up a little more ferocious here all of a sudden. And coming back, a family affair. That's true of both of these head coaches. Ryan Odom with his dream job, and Jay Lucas, one of the rising stars in the game. Well, both of these head coaches have dads who are awfully proud. A couple of dads have done a few things, by the way. John Lucas and Dave Odom, Jay's dad and Ryan's dad, and in the stands here. I think you'll see John Lucas on his feet for most of the game.
You will see him up, very energetic, and you see where Jay gets it from. But OB, I have great coaching stories from both of these coaches. When John Lucas, I played for 2 seasons. He was my associate head coach at Denver, but I called him my coach because I didn't really get along with the head coach. But on another note, Ryan Odom, son Connor Odom, played for me at Oak Hill, which means I coached Dave Odom's grandson and played for John Lucas.
Wow, Thomas, and fouled in the act of attempting the 3. So He'll be headed to the foul line to shoot 3 times. Now, and of course, when Dave was coaching at Virginia, Ryan was a ball boy at the time. He was like 10, 11 years old, but the hairstyle remains the same. It's remarkable how close that is, just a touch more gray today.
That's a gift, Obi. You and I both know it very well. That is an extreme gift.
Yes.
One that he still has his hair.
And a great head of hair.
Yes. Well, and Ryan will be the first to tell you that, you know, his profession often causes him to lose a little bit of it. Yes. But he's fortunate to still have it.
Donaldson, by the way, picked up his 2nd foul, so he's headed to the bench for Miami. And Thomas at the line. Malik Thomas had 16 points in just 19 minutes against NC State yesterday.
Very efficient. You know, one of the things that I love about the style of play from Ryan Odom and Virginia, after a score, look at everyone in the front court. Even after they make a 3, OB, which no one has made in this game thus far, but there's very little celebration. It's immediately go find your man. We're picking up 94 feet.
Now they're combined 0 for 10, these two teams from 3-point land, as Henderson will get it back. Dubrat will fire, and in and out, the 6'5" junior from Israel. Let's go to Molly.
Well, OB, Miami coaches were reminding their players in the last timeout, you have to play through contact to get to the foul line, and you've got to get the foul against their bigs, calling out Testa Ritter specifically. And defensively, they pointed out Virginia 0 for 6 from 3, keep challenging passes, contesting shots, and they finished with no 3s allowed. So they don't want Virginia to get any momentum there.
Yeah, Jay Lucas recognizing that Virginia averages over 10 3-point field goals made per game, one of the best in the ACC. And they shot a school record 28.3 threes a game, so it's a huge part of their offense.
Malik Renew body to body with the Ritter, will draw the double. He passes out of that. Dubrat's open, got another good look, and he's missed them. So the 3s, there's a lid on both baskets. Under 10 to play in the first half. Dubrat takes the hit, and he'll be headed to the foul line. He's a very good 3-point shooter. I mean, 49%. Far, no one's making anything.
But I'll give him credit for attacking the paint. And oftentimes, when you're playing against Virginia, because they always have an elite shot blocker on the floor, when Grunlow goes out of the game, Oniensu comes in. They keep one of those guys on the court as Grunlow picks up his 2nd foul, picked up one early in the game. But you always have to be aware as to where that big man is once you touch the paint.
Well, Miami briefly climbed into the top 25 at the end of the season, and now out again. There's another big coming on. Oniensu at 7 foot. 2.6 blocks per game to lead the ACC.
An absolute factor defensively. We watched him yesterday against NC State. Truly just control the paint. Unless you have a 5-man, a center that can shoot 3s, you're in trouble when you play against Virginia, because he will camp out in the paint and make life difficult for your entire offense.
So 3-point lead for the Cavaliers. They are the 2 seed, Miami the 3 seed. The winner takes on the winner of Duke Clemson, which is later on tonight.
Miami switching it up, Obi, defensively going to the 3-2 zone. Against Virginia, that's dangerous because you have to be aware of all the shooters are on the floor.
White off the fake.
Ooh, that is great defense. Part of the reason why Uday was on the first team all-defensive team.
Yeah, it's at 6'11", frying that free. And Renew got the look he wanted, couldn't cash in. So they are 0 for 13, these two from 3. Lewis back for White. White will drive it, scoop it, and couldn't get it to go. Rebound comes out high, the deflection. And now DeRitter downstairs, trying to back in on Renew. That's a pretty play.
That is a great matchup. You're talking about 2 first-team All-ACC performers going at it head-to-head. DeRitter winning that battle, and you've got 2 strong guys going at it in the post.
See why DeRitter shoots 51%. He knows where he wants it. 16 points a game for Testa Ritter. Washington. Can he get rolling the way he did in the quarterfinals? fires it up. That won't drop.
Great effort by Uday,
Yes,
to come up with that offensive rebound and, more importantly, not pick up a foul. Uday getting the job done on both ends of the floor.
great balance there on the baseline to keep that one alive. That is fired off to Ritter and out of play, so they'll turn it over.
Watch the footwork here, OB. Ernest Uday doing the job defensively, and then with the wingspan, reaching in, stripping the basketball away from White. As a guard, that is the most embarrassing thing that can happen for you, and I know this because it's happened to me a number of times. But when the big guy takes the basketball from you, you just want to go bury your head in the sand.
6'11", had 9 rebounds yesterday. Earlier this season had a 17-rebound game against Clemson. A terrific defender and rebounder. Anderson. Miami looking for a hot hand. He'll bounce for Washington. He has 7 seconds to get off the shot. He'll fire it up, and down it goes, and finally someone's hit a 3.
And Drew Washington off the bench with 7 points already, picking up where he left off in the quarterfinal action.
Tied up at 15. Mallory, the star in that long meeting in Virginia, that 3-point win, tremendous victory against Miami. Off the front of the iron by White. And that will go the other way with 7:28 to play. Miami will have the ball first half. We are tied up at 15 in this semifinal.
Back here at the ACC Tournament in Charlotte, here with Virginia coach Ryan Odom. Coach, what stands out most to you from the beginning of this game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we got off to a decent start. Our passing is atrocious right now. We're throwing the ball all over the place. We're not throwing passes on target. We're not coming up with 50-50 balls down here. We just got to play better overall.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
And you know, this is pretty recent in college basketball, not so much in the association, but the access that the coaches are providing in tournaments like this. He's right, his team has turned it over 5 times. They have only 1 assist. But he's very candid, and this new wave of coaches that we're seeing in the ACC all seem to embrace that candor. They're telling you the truth about their teams. We appreciate it very much.
We absolutely appreciate it, OB. And when you talk about these 2 respective coaches, they are both replacing legends. You're talking about Tony Bennett, who should be a Hall of Famer, and you're also talking about Jim Larinaga, who should be a Hall of Famer. It doesn't mean that these coaches are better than those coaches, but they are better suited for today's climate. And when you consider college athletics and what it is, Tony Bennett stepped away because he no longer liked the climate. And so now Ryan Odom steps in, embracing that challenge of the transfer portal, of NIL, and also giving that level of access that allows you to sell your program on a nationally televised game to recruits who may be thinking about going into the portal or watching from high school.
A couple of other guys in the ACC we just saw there, John Shire and Pat Kelsey, they're very much like that as well, and they embrace it. And we really do think it's great for the game.
Yeah. We can add Luke Louch, we add Will Wade to that category.
Will Wade should have his own show. Talk about candid. He's a lot of fun. Donaldson in the lane, can't convert. Rebound pops up and controlled by Virginia, tied at 15. The kick for White, and he's going to be on the line, and he'll turn it over. So the sloppy play continues for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, now the 6th turnover for Virginia in this game, and the most common turnover in basketball, stepping on that sideline. Not a lot of space over there for guys who normally have on pretty big shoes.
Still to come, Duke and Clemson, the #1 seed and the #5 seed in the second semifinal at 9:30. And the winners move on to the ACC Championship game at 8:30 tomorrow night. Rumor has it that a Hall of Famer will be sitting next to you and I.
Ooh, we call that a tease in the TV.
I'll just tell you who it is. It's Dickie B, okay? We're not teasing anybody. Dickie will be here. Can't wait to see him. Washington in the paint. Bounce speed, looking for the scoop shot. Well done, a well-run play to get that to Dante Allen.
Dante able to get that quickly off the glass before the outstretched hand of Oniensu is able to block it away, as he's done so many opportunities in the paint.
Devin Tillis, big body at 6'7", banging away underneath. on the spin. Boy, Thomas, a cagey play to put it to the deck, but he couldn't get the shot.
And a great job by Renew to be able to corral that rebound after trying to contest the shot defensively.
Donaldson slipping that pass inside. Onienso with the block. That's his third. He's on his way again. Swung up top for Hall. Didn't get a lot of offense out of the point guard, not from points anyway. He gets about 6 points a game and an outstanding passer. Tillis off the fake. Drives and kicks. Onienso will knock it down.
He also has provided Virginia with a nice offensive touch, so it hasn't been just his shot blocking. I honestly believe that Onienso would have gotten a lot of votes on Sixth Man of the Year if he were on the ballot.
I agree.
And Chance Mallory also not on the ballot. I think he could have taken some of those votes away from Malik Brown. Brown probably would have still won it, but both those guys I felt like deserved some recognition, especially for the way they've helped Virginia win 15 ACC games.
So Renew with the foul to stop the play a moment ago, tied at 17. And although it has not been something you'd frame in an art gallery yet, it's competitive at 17. Mallory with the quick step. Over the top, and a beautiful tip by the big fella.
But a great touch by Onienso up top, and Chance Mallory recognizing he can get into the painted area. And a nice find. Onienso with 8 points in this first half.
He averages 6 for a full game, so he's made a difference on the offensive end. Not a one-dimensional player. Washington can't get the shot off. Malovitz, 6'8" freshman. That clangs away.
Oh.
And bodies hitting the deck. Pretty good collision there. As Washington and Mallory both went down on the hardwood.
Chance Mallory attacking the rim, but keeping his eyes up, recognizing he can throw the basketball to where only his teammate Onienso is able to go up in the soft touch just to put it off the glass. Perfect from the field, 4 of 4 for 8 points.
Washington picked up the foul. Time for a 1-and-1. You've been in situations in tournaments where you're scouting the game in front of you because you're hopefully going to face one of them in like 24 hours. Take us into the mindset of that. Like as a player, what are you doing right now watching these guys?
When you're watching this right now, you're looking at how you're going to guard specific actions of the opposing team. If you're going to play against Virginia, you know you got to deal with their ball screen action. You got to find a way to keep Chance Mallory out of the painted area, and oftentimes that's going to be your backup point guard. Chance, even though he plays 24 minutes a game in ACC action, he comes off the bench. And now Ryan Odom goes with his 2-point guard look. So, by the way, these 2 point guards, number 1 and 2 in the ACC in assist-to-turnover ratio.
Anderson to bring it up. One of the top freshmen that not enough people talk about, quite frankly. It's 6'6", averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds a game. Really talented.
Going up against another freshman. However, it's a different level of freshman between these two.
Yeah, like a 5-year difference between the two. DeRitta's 23 years old. Shot clock down to 1. Renew fires it up there and around and out it goes. Terrific job there to save that one. Back in play from Mallory. Henderson goes sprawling. Bodies flying everywhere. Mallory will take the hit with under 4 minutes to go. So getting physical. 21-17, and Virginia has surged into the lead here against Miami in our first semi. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let our expertise round out yours.
Welcome back. We're rocking out here at the Spectrum Center. Everyone's got their phones out with their lights. Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, you too? Like a concert in here.
He doesn't know how to work his phone.
No, we've learned that the hard way. Coming up on your Sargento halftime report, Taylor Tannenbaum along with all of my national champs. We'll go around the country, some thrillers in all the different conferences. Right here, though, we've got a low-scoring affair, Coach. What would you consider this first half?
It's not pretty. It's not like you are, Taylor. It's not pretty.
Coach, you shouldn't have got. Guys, I can't believe I get to work with these three all night long.
Well,
and it's early still.
I said it. They didn't say it. Don't give them credit. No, this is a normal kind of a typical first half of two teams that slug it out anyway. Yeah. They'll get going. They'll loosen the defense up in the second half, and they'll start playing offense.
He's back in coach mode, guys.
He never says stuff like that to us, that's for sure.
Yeah, I talked to him for about 30 minutes pre-game. He never called me pretty.
3:54 to go. Our Sargento halftime report coming up. And Virginia at the line. Chance Mallory, the freshman out of Charlottesville, Virginia. He's the guy that was fouled in the final seconds in their first meeting in Virginia, and he calmly hit 3 foul shots to ice it. It's a mini 8-0 run now for the Cavaliers. They have their biggest lead.
Yeah, and you see still pushing that defense up 94 feet. Brian Odom made a promise to the Virginia fan base early in the season where they were playing great on offense, but the defense was suspect. And he let the fan base know, we will fix this defense, I promise. And he made true on his promise. They became a tremendous defensive team throughout ACC action.
Molly, you were listening in on Jay Lucas's huddle.
Yeah, he was really frustrated, Obi. He slammed down his clipboard at the start of the timeout and told his players, we're playing so soft right now. Everything we're doing is soft. Everyone is quiet and has a dumb look on their face. He told them you need to communicate more, get your head in the game, and he was so demonstrative in the huddle, pushing against players to show how he wants them to defend, trying to incite more passion from his guys.
You know, Jay Lucas was a great player in his own right. A McDonald's All-American coming out of high school, and as a smaller guard, he didn't mind doing the tough stuff. I used to play one-on-one with him way back when he was about 10 or 11 years old, and he used to battle with the big guys back then.
DeRitter out of the corner, got it. Nice touch on the triple. That's DeRitter, first team All-ACC, 9 points in the first half. His dad was one of my favorite players growing up in the NBA.
Yeah.
Loved watching him play.
Well, I tell you what, the more time you spend with him, the more times he'll tell you that he was the first ever point guard to be drafted #1 in the NBA draft. So.
I do remember that. I do remember that. And a whistle and a foul at 2:24. Bit of a tennis player.
Y'all, great tennis player, All-American in tennis coming out of high school, going to Maryland. Actually played both basketball and tennis, and also participated in the ACC's greatest ever game, the 1974 championship game between Maryland and NC State. John Lucas, the point guard. I just watched the documentary on it a couple of days ago in the hotel.
I love how his son's team's down 7, so he could care less about any of that. He wants to see a comeback here from Miami. Henderson with the ball, turns and left it way short. Caught by Onienso. And Virginia has the momentum now here in this semifinal against Miami. DeRitter again. Not this time. Big rebound up and in by Hall.
Another offensive rebound, and look at Jay Lucas. To Molly's point, and how demonstrative he was in the huddle. It's spilling over now, the frustration after seeing Dallin Hall with the offensive rebound and the reverse layup for 2 second chance points.
Virginia building up a 9-point lead. Hall, the 7th player to score for Virginia, as he just stole that rebound from Miami.
He absolutely did, and he's a great rebounding guard when you consider, and that's one of the things about Brian Odom's system. The point guards don't necessarily have to get back. He wants them going to the offensive glass as well. So now Dallin Hall at the point guard spot goes in, sneaks in, gets offensive rebound, puts it back in for 2, but it also allows you to be up and jam defenders 94 feet after a score.
Jay Lucas getting a timeout, ran out as if his seat was on fire to let his team have it.
Specifically, Shelton Henderson, the freshman who went to his high school and he has a great relationship with, and challenged him to be better on the defensive glass.
Drew Washington with a triple, not there. Not many shots falling here in the first half for Miami. They're going to push it for Hall in the corner. Got a good open look. DeRitter will give them a second chance. Off the fake, Thomas. Yes, sir. With a three-pointer.
Second chance points, the difference maker right now for Virginia. Now 12 second chance points off of 7 offensive rebounds, and that is a staple of their offense. Ryan Odom teaches their crash lanes over and over again in practice.
Whistle here, and that's going to be a foul with a minute to go before the break. And Bill Covington blew the whistle. Miami only hitting 30% from the field. Speaking of offense for Virginia, if you haven't seen them this season, this is a team that can really score. They've set a school record by hitting 10 or more threes 19 times. That's even better than the 2019 National Championship team under Tony Bennett.
Which was a great shooting team with DeAndre Hunter, Kyle Guy, Ty Jerome. But the style,
getting inside the two.
The style of play allows for more threes and faster threes to be taken, but Ryan Odom does not sacrifice and does not allow guys to lock on the defensive end with all the freedom they have on offense.
Right back out for Hall. They'll get another opportunity. Downstairs, and the big fella on the insole with the slam. So they can beat you outside and inside now that their offense is finally getting going. He has 10 points.
Virginia only had 4 offensive rebounds, Obi, in the first matchup between these two teams. However, they did shoot 58% from the field, so it wasn't a lot of misses to go get. But right now, that's really been the difference between these two teams in the first half.
Well, they both got up to very cold starts, but Virginia's heated up, and they get the pick here by Mallory. He'll pull up and fire, and he hits it right in front of the horn to end the first half. He had to get the shot in the air. He had no other choice, and he absolutely buried it. And Virginia sails into the locker room leading 38-23.
And everyone will remember the three, but what they won't remember is the fact that he just took the basketball away from arguably the best point guard in the ACC. It starts with the defense. Chance Mallory making sure that he gets over screen and then just ripping Trey Donaldson, and the presence to know how much time he had to get to the 3-line, capping off a 13-2 run for the Hoos heading into the halftime.
Chance Mallory burying that shot, and a big lead at the break. Virginia with all the momentum leading at 38-23 over Miami. We're at halftime. Taylor and the guys to take it away.
Welcome to the Sargento Halftime Report.
Welcome into your Sargento halftime report. It feels like just a couple of minutes ago we were saying, man, there was a lid on the basket. Virginia has taken it off completely. Welcome in. I'm Taylor Tannenbaum alongside 3 national champions, Luke Hancock, Joel Berry II, and the Hall of Famer Jim Boeheim. It's a 15-point lead for Virginia, using a 13-2 run heading into the locker room with a double-digit lead. What shifted for the Hoos?
They just made some shots, but it's their defense overall. They're just really good. They're going to wear down teams as this tournament moves on because they can play a lot of guys, and they have 3 bigs. Those 3 bigs make a big difference. 1 or 2 of them play good. They're hard to beat.
That's what I think the difference is when you go against Virginia, they're able to refresh that size down low. You get Grunlow out of the game, and then next thing you know, you got Onyenso. Not a lot of teams have the luxury of being able to bring another 7-footer off the bench, and it has discouraged Miami on the offensive end, and then that has sparked Virginia's offense.
It was 17-19 at the 4:35 mark. Chance Mallory gets a rebound. He gets fouled, goes to the free throw line. They're in the bonus from that point on, and everything changed. I thought his energy was huge, pushing the pace. Defensively, he was fantastic. He was a big catalyst.
Ugo Onyenso, 10 points to pace the Cavaliers in the first half. Already has 3 blocks coming off the 8 he had yesterday. Let's go around the country, starting in the Big 12. Kansas City on the hardwood. Welcome back, hardwood. Iowa State, Arizona Cyclones been blowing people out in this tourney hot again today.
Got off to a really hot start.
Yeah, they got off to a hot start, and then Arizona clawed their way back into the game. Anthony Deloso, who has been playing well for them down the stretch, came off the bench and gave them a huge lift.
Arizona State had a lead, 34-33, but then the Wildcats, Awaka off the glass, works his way inside. They're now up 37 34. To the Big Ten we go. Quarterfinals, Purdue, Nebraska. First half, C.J. Cox. Three ball is good. He had 9 points in the first half. Later, Trey Kaufman-Red adds to the total, but Fletcher Lawyer, call him when you're in a pinch.
This whole starting lineup for Purdue playing really well. This is the team we thought we'd see at the beginning of the year.
He had 13 points in the first half. Purdue led by 13 at the break. They're out in front. In the SEC, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Vandy down 4. Duke Miles leaving it all on the floor today. He finished with 30 points. Later, defense to offense here, Coach.
I'll tell you what, Vanderbilt is a great story. They are a really good team and a good tournament team as well.
Nate Ament. Not his day today, Luke.
I like we got the highlight in there, but he struggled. 1 for 13 from the field, just not his day.
Despite that, Tennessee was still in this game late, but Vanderbilt, the exclamation point to put this one away. They advance to the semis. They get Florida up next. Chance Mallory, you just talked about him off the bench.
You got to have some serious confidence with that pull-up three.
Who's up big at the break?
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese.
All now.
Welcome back to the Sargento halftime report.
Halftime here right now between Virginia and Miami, but coming up, Clemson Duke. There's the man of the hour, Cam Boozer, one of just 2 players in Division I, averaging 20 and 10. He hit that mark yesterday in their close 1-point win over Florida State. Back at it in a little bit against those Tigers. All right, when you're eyeing this basketball game, Luke, what jumps off the page?
Well, I think this game is going to be played in the half court. Both these teams are going to slow it down. Clemson has a little bit more depth. I think they're going to key in on Isaiah Evans after a big night. Cam Boozer play as well as he did yesterday, maybe even better to win this one.
Well, they're going to double team him every time, leave somebody open. Somebody's going to make a shot for Duke.
Yep, we saw Florida State do that yesterday, leave Caden Boozer over and get Cam Boozer a double team. It'll be interesting to see if can Clemson knock down shots from the perimeter. Nick Davidson stepped in yesterday for Carter Welling and knocked down 4 for 4 from 3.
You mentioned Nick Davidson. For Clemson, it's going to take a total team effort to knock off a Duke team. It has been a total team effort for the Tigers. Who else are you looking to step up?
I'm looking more at the backcourt guys as the key pieces to this. They got to be great on defense, wearing down that backcourt from Duke. Yep. Can't turn the ball over.
That's the second part of the semifinals here at Spectrum Center as we continue this game here between Virginia and Miami. The star of the first half for the Who's, Ugo Onyenso. 10 points, 3 blocks, Virginia up 15.
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese.
Make sure tonight, after these 2 games are over, head over to ACC Network post-game, Nothing But Net the Crew. That means us.
That's us.
We'll be holding it down late night to recap the semis and move on to preview the championship game of this ACC tournament. But right now, Miami, fewest points for the Canes in a first half this season, held to 23. Luke, where the heck would they be without one true Washington off the bench?
Well, he's been a spark plug for him, but it's going to take more than just True Washington. I think Trey Donaldson needs a big second half for the Canes.
Obi, Corey, and Molly, they're refueled. They have you on the other side. Thanks for watching the Sargento Halftime Report.
Now, welcome back to Champ Week on ESPN, presented by Principal. You're watching the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, and it's presented by T. Rowe Price from Charlotte, North Carolina. We're set for our second half of our first semifinal. Virginia opening it up right before the break. They lead by 15 over Miami, the number 2 and the number 3 seed. Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander, and Molly McGrath. That got away in a hurry the last couple of minutes.
It absolutely did. Virginia making 3 3-point field goals in their 13-2 run to end the first half of this game. They started out 0 of 8 from 3, and once they got it going from beyond the arc, it was a completely different story.
Take us to our principals, experts at work, and how they did it.
Well, they did it starting with the defensive end, but getting the basketball in the hands of Tester Ritter normally means good things for Virginia. Going to the block, going over the left shoulder, right hand. Chance Mallory has been spectacular, driving the basketball and then recognizing his teammate on the inside would have an opportunity at the rim, and then doing the job defensively, the steal and the presence of mind to know he had enough time to knock down the 3 ball headed into the halftime locker room.
And UVA on top, 38-23. This game was tied at 17, and then, like shot out of a cannon, here goes Virginia. They went 21-6 on Miami in the next 5.5 minutes.
And you saw the frustration from Jay Lucas time and time again. Their timeouts trying to get his team to stand up to the physicality of Virginia. Virginia absolutely won that battle in the first half.
Let's see how they respond. Donaldson trying to get the dunk there, and a whistle and a foul on the play as Ude went up and will draw the hit. And Molly, you have more from Coach Lucas.
Yeah, Jay Lucas was so frustrated at halftime. He said he's really upset with his team's effort and mentality. Repeating a message I heard him say in a timeout: we're playing so soft. We're not playing to who we are and who we've been all season. He said we got to stop the bleeding through our defensive play. We can't allow so many offensive rebounds and second chance points, but he did admit our team looks shell-shocked right now, guys.
Yeah, Obi, if you go back and you consider the first game, the matchup between these two teams on February 21st, Miami out-rebounded Virginia 12-4 in offensive rebounds, and they outscored Virginia 18-2 in second chance points. It's been the complete opposite here today. 14-6 advantage for Virginia in second chance points.
A very, very different game. Virginia won that 86-83. So a completely different game. They making 1 out of 2.
And now you see after the score, Miami starting to extend their pressure defensively. Dante Allen and Trey Donaldson both up in the backcourt.
Duke and Clemson to come later on tonight at 9:30 in our second semifinal. Championship game tomorrow at 8:30. Dickie V will be joining Corey and I and Molly here courtside. This Hall running the point. To Ritter. The shot clock at 5. Lewis takes a peek at that. Off the fake. He can't hit the shot. Bruno came in for the rebound. And a foul on the play. Bruno just picked up his 3rd foul moments ago. Opening minute of the second half. They'll get Trey Donaldson for his 3rd foul. And this is a major development in a bad way for Miami to lose such a key guy.
It really is. We talked about him earlier in the game. You and I both voted for Trey Donaldson, his first team All-ACC. That's how important he was to the 3rd seeded Miami Hurricanes in the regular season. Not only his scoring, but his playmaking as well. But without him, it's going to be difficult for the Hurricanes to try to get back into this game against a Virginia team that will absolutely not slow down on the offensive end.
It's a team that just doesn't rely on the 3-pointer, so they're not going to get back in it necessarily that way. Shot clock down to 6. Malik Thomas with a pull-up, and it was in the cylinder.
That did everything to go in. Great footwork to get to the shot. Got to the mid-range. Just whatever reason didn't want to go down for Malik Thomas, but that won't stop him from being aggressive.
A nice shot by Dante Allen, the tough freshman, 4-star recruit from Miami.
Yeah, from Miami. His dad, believe it or not, is the gentleman that Bam Adebayo works out with before every game. Is on the inside to add to his offensive arsenal, knocking down the 3 ball.
Boy, only took a handful this year, but he's having himself.
Made a huge 3 against Virginia Tech, the game winner for them, for Virginia in that rivalry game, the last game of regular season. Left Mike Young just scratching his head.
Yeah. Miami's like, I thought all he did was block shots. He's 6 for 6 from the field. Anderson slicing inside and 2. They need a lot more of that.
They really do. And that's the type of aggression that Jay Lucas is talking about when he means don't play soft. Be aggressive in everything that you do, attacking downhill. And you have to challenge oftentimes the shot blocker and not allow yourself to just be passive because you know he's in the paint.
41-28. The Who's in front. Trying to win their 29th game of the year. Duke got to 30 wins with their victory last night. The Ritter scoops it up and in.
Hard to guard a guy that strong who has the ability to go off the bounce.
Yeah, he has 11 points. The veteran of Spain's ACB Pro League. Listed as a first-year man, but 23 years old and a lot of pro experience. The swing off the fake. The drive, and that won't drop. Drew Washington did everything he needed to do except make the shot. That'll go the other way.
That goes back to his points earlier about attacking the contact. Virginia pushing it out in transition. No one even getting out there to try to affect the three. Oniensu can knock down the open when he gets those opportunities.
So everything going right for Virginia. Oniensu on the year in conference play only attempted 15 threes.
But made 5 of them coming in, and that's all you ask. 33.3%. That means you should be shooting them. And now that he's 1 of 1 in this game, that goes up.
That's right. He went right over to Ryan Odom and said, "Told you I should be shooting." Corey thinks I should.
Absolutely, give me more. Right there. Look at it.
He'll try another one. All right, probably enough of that.
Okay, still 50% for the game. You will still take that number.
Darn right. Well, he's just having a great night.
He absolutely has been, Obi, and he's playing all ACC tournament performer right now. You throw in what he did yesterday in over 30 minutes, which was a season high, and now you consider the effort he's had offensively and defensively today.
Thomas off the fake, will drive it. Wisely kicks it out. And hands off to the guard. The shot, and it'll spin out.
The second time for Thomas.
He's got to check that rim. What's going on with that? Anderson denied in the paint. Miami in serious need of a run here. Dante Allen. Nowhere to go. Shot clock down to 10. Washington off the fake. Oniensu right up in his grill. No question he altered that shot a little bit. He does so many. 16-15 to go. And Virginia leading by 15. Foul on the play will go against Altuntas of Miami, his second. Jay Lucas doing everything he can with his team and the officials to climb back in this thing.
But to this point, I mean, you've got to really credit Virginia's defense. And now Miami is playing without Trey Donaldson, who's in foul trouble, spent some time on the bench in foul trouble. But the way that Virginia has approached this game defensively is really what's allowed them to build this 15-point lead.
They always think, when you think Virginia, you think of defense. You think of all those great Tony Bennett teams. But this team can flat score. They've gotten 80 points or more 19 times this year.
Yeah, averaging over 80 points a game this season, which is second.
Mallory off again to DeRitter for the slam. Mallory hitting the deck and yet got the assist, and that's 13 for DeRitter.
But Chance Mallory, not fearful at all of attacking the paint, even takes the contact on the way to the ground, is able to still keep his head up and find DeRitter. It's not been only about his scoring. He's distributed the basketball very well this evening as well.
So Virginia getting even more comfortable since halftime. This is their biggest lead. Allen for Renew. Been very quiet in the opening minutes of the second half. Saves it. Shot clock down to 1. Henderson with the floater. Rebound tap. They'll get another crack at it. Here's Renew from the corner. No. Nothing falling from Miami. He gets his own miss. Banging his way inside and finally draws a foul. 15:09 to go.
Virginia attacking the paint. Chance Mallory, even though he gets tripped up, still eyes up, delivering the strike to DeRitter.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let our expertise round out yours. The National Player of the Year candidate, ACC Player of the Year, Cam Boozer there, walking into the building. RJ Godfrey for Clemson. They're about to go toe-to-toe in our second semifinal. That is coming up next when this one is done on ESPN2. Molly McGrath will go anywhere for a story. She's with Brad Brownell at the loading dock.
Coach Brownell, what are you emphasizing with your team ahead of this game against the top-ranked Blue Devils?
Try to enjoy the experience. Just keep doing what we're doing. Play hard. Share the ball. Get back in transition and enjoy the experience.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Enjoy the experience of playing the #1 team in the country in the semifinal in Charlotte.
Absolutely, and we get a chance to see Brad Brownell smiling, and he's happy about this opportunity coming in. That's going to change. He's going to do a complete 180 in about an hour and a half over on that sideline. I want to make sure we show all the emotions of Brad Brownell today.
He is a terrific coach. Has been for a long, long time. Done a wonderful job at Clemson. And they are trying for the upset tonight against a depleted Duke team. Although they overcame that last night. Isaiah Evans with 32. Cam Boozer, he did what he does. 23 and 10. He was outstanding again.
Just an average game for Cameron Boozer. But Isaiah Evans, as you mentioned, stepping up with 32 points in that career high, and they needed every one of them as they were able to pull off a 1-point win.
And Miami needs to take advantage of every opportunity they had the rest of the way. Washington shoveled it up there, would not go. The fight for the rebound, and there is a foul as Tillis tried to come out of the pack with it, and Miami commits the personal. Hey, we have it covered on Selection Sunday. As we always do, it all starts at 6 with SportsCenter. Reese and the guys then take a look at the men's field of 68. The brackets are announced. Then bracketology, a breakdown of every region. Then at 8 o'clock, it's the women's field of 68 revealed with a complete breakdown of every single match at 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
Neither of these teams are going to have to wonder if. It'll simply be about where on Selection Sunday. Virginia right now most likely to get a 4 seed. However, winning an ACC tournament might be enough to push them up to a 3.
Jumper on the money off the wing by Sam Lewis. One of the best the Cavaliers had, 39% out there.
Yeah, Sam Lewis 4 of 9 from 3 in their matchup against NC State yesterday in the quarterfinals, and he is pretty much just lit fire anytime he's played against the Wolfpack throughout this season. 3 times, and he said spectacular games in each one.
And it's in the collision here and a blocking foul. SMU right on the cut line. Do they get in?
I do believe they get in, and when you consider the fact that SMU played a very tough non-conference schedule, win over Texas A&M, had a number of quality wins in non-conference, and then in a much upgraded ACC this season, I do believe they get in. I believe right now Joe Lunardi has them as one of his last 4 in, which means that they would be an 11 seed, most likely playing in Dayton on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I heard a lot of people talking today about the point you made yesterday about Miami of Ohio and Auburn and the schedule that Auburn played. And Miami of Ohio had a great year. 1 loss in the tournament. They weren't even favored in their own conference round.
Well, and not only that, but the fact that, you know, they only have 1 loss, but that 1 loss is a very bad loss. And you lose the first game of your conference tournament. And there has been a tournament now, the NCAA committee also is in charge of the NIT. The NIT, that is where if you win your regular season and you don't win your conference tournament, you get an automatic bid to the NIT. I don't understand why there's a difference for a team that didn't play a strong schedule.
7 seconds in the shot clock and a hold and a foul against Miami. DeRitter has picked up the 3rd foul, so he's on the bench right now. 13:39 to go. And Virginia at the moment in firm control of this one. This foul will go against True Washington of the Hurricanes. That's his 3rd. So he hits the bench. And Malovitz does as well for Jay Lucas. He's looking for someone to turn the tide for his team. Tillis out of the corner. Not there.
Ray Donaldson limping down the floor. A bit gingerly. Talked about he hasn't had much production. Has spent so much time on the break, but got to keep an eye on him. He's struggling to get back down the floor, allowing Virginia to get the easy layup. And Trey Donaldson is waving Jay Lucas off as though he doesn't want to come out of the game. But if you're not going to be able to help your team, especially on the defensive end.
Well, no doubt about it, it's Virginia playing with real vigor right now. Donaldson is going to be coming out of the game whether he wants to or not. Because all of a sudden he looked like a 55-year-old man.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm only 52.
Well, actually, I was looking past you. I wasn't looking at you, partner. Wait, 18-point lead for the Hoos. Henderson looking to make a move on Tillis, and Tillis will commit the foul. But the Hurricanes, who came in with 25 wins, finished 3rd place in the ACC at 13-4, beat Louisville yesterday in a real slugfest. They're in deep trouble here tonight in the semifinal.
And got revenge. You and I were in Coral Gables on Saturday to see Louisville go into Miami and beat them on their senior day. So a little get back for the paint.
Allen finds himself open in the paint, knocks it down. Yet only 34 points to this juncture for the Hurricanes. Mallory hit that three-pointer right at the halftime buzzer. White on the drive. Out for Hall. All to the paint. Up in there. White beyond the three-point line where he loves to live. Picks up the dribble. Shot clock to 5. Mallory starting from deep on the drive. Can't spin it in. It did get to the rim, so a new shot clock. Tillis is triple teamed underneath, trying to spin free, and he's tied up on the play. And a possession arrow will take it the other way for Miami.
But even still, another offensive rebound for Virginia. Chance Mallory attacking the tape and unable to get it to go, but Devin Tillis still crashing the glass, coming up with the rebound. Miami gets the possession, but what it does, it flips the arrow back in favor. So therefore, still a very productive play for Devin Tillis going in, crashing the glass.
Sam Lewis back on now for Ryan Odom. Ryan Odom has called it a dream job to come to Virginia, where he was a ball boy when his dad was coaching at UVA, Terry Holland. He said, I pinch myself every day. And so do Cavalier fans over the fact that he was hired.
Absolutely. Great hire by athletic director Carl and the search committee that went out and found Ryan Odom. And I don't think it was a very, difficult search. He was right down the road at VCU, having success in every job that he's been in. UMBC, of course.
DeRitter open, got it. He buries a triple.
That's truly where the game changed. Once Virginia started making threes in the first half, it opens up so many more opportunities for you, especially when you've got 5 guys on the floor pretty much at all times that can make threes.
53-37. Virginia 11 minutes away from a championship date. Dobrat will bury that one.
And how about Malik Thomas? After Dobrat is able to knock down the 3, just hanging his head in frustration because he gave up a 3 on that possession. That's how locked in Virginia is defensively. They don't want Miami to have any light.
DeRitter again. Left open that time. Boy, he beat them to the miss. It does spin free to Miami. And the follow is up and good by Henderson. So now Miami beginning to make noise like they're going to close the gap in a large way.
Give Dante Allen a lot of credit for pushing the tempo and allowing Henderson to come follow that up.
Back for Hall. DeRitter thought about it. The blow by, he'll lay it up. It's going to be tipped. Bruno couldn't get it to go. So Miami has some momentum. Allen again. Slapped away from him. It'll stay on this end. 10:07 left. Virginia leading by 11. All part of Champ Week. We're into the semifinals of the ACC Tournament in Charlotte.
Checked.
Oh, the Champ Week glitter ball. Everybody looking to get their hands on it.
Hey, there you go,
hey. This is what we call put together.
That is it.
It's really Christmas time for us at ESPN. Champ Week, nothing like it. The best time for a college basketball fan from here on out. Champ Week on ESPN. Virginia on top, 53-42. Game 2 CA coming up. That'll be Clemson and Duke. Size that one up for us.
Well, when you consider the fact that we were there to witness Duke take Clemson to the woodshed on February 14th, Valentine's Day, they did not treat them with much love at all. I'm sure Clemson is looking to get back here in the ACC tournament. However, the Blue Devils are always going to be a tough out no matter where they go, and lacing them up.
Thriller last night. They escaped with a 1-point win against Florida State, which had a chance to win the game at the buzzer. Wriggling free, Thomas underneath. He hits the shot and headed to the line. So Virginia striking out of the timeout.
Thomas off the bounce. And as Dubrak cuts him off, everyone seems to leave. So therefore, Thomas is able to pivot right back into a strong layup and an opportunity. 3-point play.
So the steal and the bucket. And looking for three now. Thomas at the line 75%. He's had some big scoring games this year. 26 against Virginia Tech, 24 against Butler, 23 against SMU. So he's right there about 12 points a game, but on a given night, he could be the guy.
And early in ACC play, Thomas was, getting the majority of the minutes at the shooting guard spot because Jakari White was still out with injury. When White came back, it took away some of those minutes, and it took a while for Malik Thomas to really still have the type of production that he was getting in fewer minutes. But he absolutely stepped up in their quarterfinal win. 16 points in under 20 minutes yesterday.
Donaldson took a shot there. 9:37 to go. And a foul will go on Dallin Hall. Now, the SEC men's tournament really heating up. Kentucky eliminated today by Florida, 71-63. Vandy and Tennessee, always a terrific game, 75-68 Vanderbilt.
And you and I talked about it, offline. We were talking about how both these coaches have done a tremendous job with meshing such a new team. Kentucky dealt with a lot of the same turnover in their roster. And they haven't had the same type of success that you've seen from these two teams, especially in SEC play. So it is difficult to be able to take on a brand new roster with 10 and 12 new guys and make them play well together, although Kentucky will still be an NCAA tournament team.
Thomas couldn't finish after a nifty spin. You're exactly right. Regardless of what your budget is, regardless of what your funding is like, way downtown, that won't go for Dubrad. In Kentucky's case, that's $22 million. And they lost 13 games to this point.
I can tell you that the coaches did a tremendous job as Malik Thomas lines up another three and knocks it down. And talking with both Jay Lucas and Ryan Odom, both these coaches did a tremendous job with team building, and it started in the summer. Once they got guys on campus and on grounds in Virginia's case for summer school, they started with all the team building exercises.
Washington with a pair, that only cuts it to 14. 58-44. Both of these programs in a similar state heading into this season based on a lot of losing last year. As Virginia continues to get what they want, and they lead it by 16. Let's go to Molly.
Well, guys, despite the deficit, Miami's Jay Lucas was all smiles in their last timeout and told his players, we're right where we need to be. Great job fighting back, and said during this next push, let's keep the deficit under 10 points by the 5-minute mark. But you can feel a little more confidence mounting for Miami, except for that play right there.
Well, they've got it almost back up to 20 points here, 62-44. So the coach is saying what he thinks his players need to hear, but the scoreboard says something else.
Been a tough day for Jay Lucas on the job after seeing Virginia get run out layups and dunks.
Hey, Tom, Kevin Zubin here in the studio at the Big 12 tournament. Milan Momcilovic has 5 threes so far, Kev.
Momcilovic was on fire. You should have saw the one he made at halftime. Big time shot to end the half.
A stunner here in the SEC on the SEC Network.
Yeah, let's remember, it's just the start of the second half, but up 7 in the second half. Could Ole Miss go 5 days, 5 wins to get a championship as the 15th seed? We will see.
The guy sitting between Tom and I did just that in the ACC, right, OB?
Exactly right, Z.
Yeah, they got sitting beside Tom Crean. Actually did that 5 games in 5 days, so he knows a little bit about that. Kevin Keats, who took the Wolfpack not only to an ACC championship, winning 5 games in 5 days in D.C., but also 4 more to the Final Four.
One of the great runs in history. Miami would like to fashion something like that right about now here tonight. Donaldson swooping inside and gets the stuff. The dude finally with reason to shout for Miami fans. We've been really quiet.
They really have, OB. And I talked with you and Kim, our producer, Griff, our director as well as Molly about one of the craziest things I've seen in the game of basketball. My second year of doing radio for Virginia in the ACC tournament, Virginia's up 10 with 43 seconds remaining.
Thomas with the basket.
Miami comes back. A 10-0 run in 43 seconds to tie the game, send it to overtime, and Virginia up losing that game in the first round of the ACC tournament. The craziest thing I've ever seen on the court.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Brian Odom trying to make sure that we have no repeat of that today.
So Virginia on top, 64-46. Duke getting ready. They've got Clemson coming up on ESPN2 in this semifinalist history. What's left of the bracket for the Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Tournament, but I, for once, am so happy that they've removed the floor and gone to a traditional courts for the Big 12. Oh, my.
Well, not only are you happy, the players are happy as well. They talked about it was a distraction. And so going back to the tradition for the semifinals.
Yes, I'm the get off my lawn guy, I guess, but I got to tell you, it was driving me crazy. I want to be able to bid on a piece of the court they took away, though, just to have it as a conversation starter, like in the family room. Like, hey, do you remember this, the piece of this floor?
Deb's not letting you put that in the family room. Maybe the man cave. But you're not getting that one in the family room. She's not having it.
Sneak it into the man cave. You're right. Should find a way to find it. 64-48. And Virginia has put the hammer down since the late minutes of the first half and not let up. Test to Ritter. Up on the wing, directing traffic. The All-ACC first-teamer gets into the paint. Shot clock down to 6 and left it short. Donaldson still playing with a full head of steam. Will scoop it up and in.
As Donaldson back on the floor, we watched him go off limping earlier, but getting back on the floor, hoping that he can be a difference maker in the final 6+ minutes of this game.
Miami, since the break, has certainly shot it well. 10 out of 20, but Virginia's 11 for 21.
But that's the thing, you can't afford to play passive against Miami, so Virginia continuing to keep their foot on the gas pedal. They want to play fast, as does Trey Donaldson, attacking the basket and using his size to get around Chance Mallory for the easy layup.
Donaldson coming in, averaging 17 points, 6 assists per game. His best move tonight.
Yeah, only 2 field goals, 2 of 5 from the field. I mean, the 5 is a problem. The fact he's only taking 5 field goal attempts and now only making 2 of those for a guy that's normally much more aggressive. But we have to remember he's missed time with foul trouble.
The kick out for Lewis, knocks it down. Back up to a 17-point lead for Virginia.
Off the 4th assist by Chance Mallory, who has had a spectacular evening here in his first ever ACC Tournament Semifinal.
Banked in by Donaldson. Virginia, however, has led by at least 11 the entire second half. And they are playing like the number 2 seed. And hunting a date with either Clemson or Duke. They're coming up next. Clemson, the 5 seed. Duke, the number 1. Of course, the number 1 team in the country. And right now, the number 1 seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament.
And OB, how about this? For the first time in the history of the 73-year ACC, we have scenarios where there are teams that could meet in the tournament championship that did not play in the regular season. There are 2 different scenarios. Miami did not play Duke, and Virginia did not play Clemson during the regular season, which is, for a person like Ryan Odom, who has been around this league as long as you and I have, it's absurd.
Really is. Mallory to the line. Clemson and Duke did meet at Cameron Indoor, where it has been decades since Clemson won a game. They didn't win that time because Duke broke away early in the second half and piled up a 21-point lead and won handily in the only meeting they had. Clemson hoping the rematch will be far different tonight. It's a different looking Duke team without Gungba and Foster for sure, but Duke a winner last night in a thriller against FSU by 1 point. Both of those teams won by the exact same score last night. Donaldson with a miss. They both won 80-79.
A little eerie. However, two great games coming down to the final possession.
Mallory will penetrate, and the answer will lay it in. He's had a big night offensively with 17.
And he's really stepped up for Goomba, who spent the majority of the ACC tournament in foul trouble, also dealing with a heavily bandaged right wrist. So Oniensu has really stepped up in his absence.
Going for the slam, but a miss for Renew. It's been that kind of night for him as he'll draw the foul, but couldn't get the slam. Coming up tonight, ACC Network and the ESPN app at 11:30 Eastern. Nothing But Net. The crew will have a complete breakdown on the semis with highlights, analysis, interviews, and more.
Is that my favorite coach that I never played for getting makeup on? Is that what is happening right now? He is all in. He is all TV now.
I don't know. I think I'm about to leave the business after that.
47 years on the sideline.
Good Boeheim. He looks great, by the way, but I mean, I didn't think I'd ever see that.
Obi, let me tell you what he's saying right now. He's mad because I can talk about him, but no one can hear him. So he can't say what he wants to say back to me.
Right. Kind of like to hear that, actually. Yep. Virginia on top, 71-54. And Miami just unable to cut in. Not very much anyway, with 4.5 minutes left.
Miami trying to go to the zone now defensively, but that's dangerous against this Virginia team now, especially that they've gotten the three-point shot going. They struggled with it earlier, going 0 over their first 8, but then picked it up before the end of the half.
4 to get off a shot. Mallory to the baseline. In the corner, the shot on the way, swished in right at the horn by Sam Lewis.
And once again, Chance Mallory recognizing how much time he has to make a play, staying poised well beyond his first year as a hooper.
Donaldson, no. Virginia has their biggest lead tonight, 20 points. And no sign of anything like a comeback from Miami here in this semifinal. DeRitter lost his balance and threw it away. Washington pulls up. One and done. Well, Miami Hurricanes have had a terrific year, a remarkable turnaround, 25 wins, an 18-win improvement over a year ago. But it looks like their ACC season is about to come to an end here. And flipped up and in by Chance Mallory, who hit that shot in front of the halftime buzzer and gives them their biggest lead. The native of Charlottesville appropriately asking for cheers and getting them here in Charlotte. They deserve it. They have put the hammer down tonight.
They absolutely do. Chance Mallory, 12 points, 6 assists, and making play after play to help his team win.
Prime.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. That's the look of confidence right there. All made up, the Hall of Famer, the great Jim Boeheim.
I am reaching out to my favorite Boeheim, which would be Julie. We got to have a conversation about this. This has turned into a true diva now that he is in front of the camera.
Right. Bad chance of that. Under 3 minutes here. It felt like about 10 minutes ago, Ryan Odom was saying, you know, we can't hit shots. We're turning the ball over. We're playing really lousy basketball. And since then, since he had those things to say to Molly, what a turnaround for Virginia, and it hit 10 threes.
They hit 10 of their last 16 threes, and that's really what changed the game. They were able to knock one down finally after starting the game 0 of 8 from beyond the arc. But that's part of Virginia's game. They make 10 or more a game, and now they're at 11. And Sam Lewis knocks down the 3 ball.
Big time blowout mode now for Virginia. 9-0 run. And hitting shots from everywhere on the floor, and their fans celebrating. They are on their way to the championship game of the ACC tournament.
And now this allows Ryan Odom to get some of his guys out there, play heavy minutes, some rest for a championship game tomorrow night.
Boy, his words really seem to resonate. 5 guys in double figures for Virginia tonight. And about to win for the 29th time, 28-4. They hit 12 threes against NC State. So they've been lighting it up here on this floor in Charlotte. Didn't necessarily start out that way, but boy, did it pick up. And once again, they hit the 80-point mark.
Yeah, and once again, and they did the job defensively. Look at what they've done with Miami. 54 points against one of the better scoring teams in the ACC and the leading field goal percentage team in the ACC. The Miami Hurricanes now shooting 37%. They come in shooting over 50% on the season.
Washington gets bottled up. They'll flip it up there. Draws the foul with 0.4 on the shot clock, so bailout. And Virginia has hit 8 out of 12 3-point shots in the second half to run away with this one.
And the way that they've defended, it's going to be difficult for anyone to beat Virginia when they're playing like this on both ends of the floor.
Washington at the line. DeRitter and Mallory right in the thick of it. Technically both freshmen. We always laugh at that with DeRitter. I laugh at that every time we put it up for Cam Boozer too. It's legitimately a freshman there, yes, but only for about 1/10 of a second when he first put the uniform on.
Yeah, but I give the ACC credit because they don't name it the all freshman team. It's the all rookie team. And DeRitter is a rookie. Yep. Because he was asked if he wanted to be classified as a freshman or a junior, because he only has 2 years of eligibility to play. So therefore, he asked to be a freshman. And so that's how Eric Bacher, the sports information director for Virginia, they granted his wish on that. But with only 2 years of eligibility, I refer to him as a first year. As the terminology in Charlottesville at University of Virginia, you go through first, second, third, fourth year. And so it's easy in Charlottesville to do this with the rhythm. However, in Chapel Hill with Luka Bogobats, who's in the exact same scenario, he's a junior. And so it's interesting to see how different schools have classified their players' eligibility.
Now, Molly, you have more.
Yeah, we talked to Tess DeRitter about what it's like to be a 23-year-old freshman. He said he hates the label, and he said that the school asked him if he wanted to live in the freshman dorms and said, absolutely not. That is where I draw the line. I'm 23 years old. I'm going to get my own apartment. So he's not living with the first years.
Well, see, Molly, at this point, Molly, now we can't classify him as a freshman then. If you don't live in Tuttle, okay, if you don't live in old dorms, now we cannot classify you as a freshman. He's got to be classified as a junior. Or third year in that case.
I mean, he's 35 years old. He's got to get out of the freshman dorm, right?
You aged him during the game, OB.
82-56. Well, he's had a terrific season. Swished in out of the corner by Malovitz, but just not nearly enough of that tonight for Miami. Virginia is going to walk to the championship game against the winner of Clemson and Duke. And Corey and Molly and I will have that coming up when this one is over. Spun up and in for 2 more. And, you know, we talk about getting to 80 points. It's the 20th time Virginia has scored 80 or more. That's the most times they've done it in 20 years. So this is an outstanding offensive team as well.
It really has. But again, the way that they've grown defensively, and Ryan Odom's promise to the fan base that they will get better. And you're talking about a fan base that is used to watching great defense. And he made the declaration to the fan base, we will get better. Here's my guy coming in.
Yep.
Owen Odom on the way onto the court. Son of Ryan, grandson of that gentleman, Dave Odom. And by the way, that's not grandma. That's Grams. Grams pointing it out that Owen is stepping on the court.
What a nice moment. He'll get a shot, too. Crowd is backing him up. They're all standing. The Virginia fans behind their bench. They want him to bury one.
Is there dirt on Owen's chin right now? I don't remember seeing that the last time I talked to my young fella.
It's a sharp-looking beard with goatee. Gilbrand looking inside. Final 20 seconds. And Virginia with an impressive performance here. That'll count. And Allen to the line. So the Cavaliers go to 29-4. Under first-year head coach Ryan Odom, who's very much in the conversation for ACC Coach of the Year. John Shire would win that. In fact, both of these coaches got plenty of support over the course of the season. Jay Lucas as well.
Yes, and both have had tremendous years. However, only Ryan Odom in this game will move on with a chance to win an ACC Tournament Championship in his first year as a head coach at the University of Virginia.
So Virginia is into the championship game of the ACC Tournament tomorrow night against the winner of Duke and Clemson. They win this one running away 84-62. So what's left of our bracket? We have one more spot to fill for Saturday's championship game. Duke and Clemson coming up next on ESPN2. The number 1 against the number 5 seed. The number 2 is all the way through to the title match.
Clemson with its depth, with a great chance to take on a shorthanded number 1 team in the country. But the Blue Devils have stood up to every test thus far throughout this season.
Final again, Virginia 84, Miami 62. Miami to head into the NCAA tournament. So their season has much run to come, but Virginia will be playing for a title. As they celebrate the win here tonight, they run right past the Miami Hurricanes. 29-4 Virginia, Miami now 25-8. Stick around, we've got our second semifinal coming up. Clemson and Duke, the number 1 team in the country, that is on the way next here from Charlotte, North Carolina.